Hola! This video is to show parents and families of Spanish 1 students what they can find on their students' Schoology page for our courses. So just a really big overview here. Your teachers will have each of the weekly folders divided up in a week folder. So for example, if we're looking at the 19th through 23rd of October, this is where you would click, and then you'd find within that folders the activities for each day. So we divide each folder by week, and then each week has a chapter name. So our first 2 weeks of this particular course were Introduction Unit, Para Empezar, which is the name of the Introduction Unit. And then now we're working on Capítulo 1A, which is Chapter 1A. You'll see the most recent folders on top so that students can just click and go. The very first folder you'll see says Welcome, and this folder will contain our class calendar and a bunch of resources and information about Spanish 1. So this is where I want to spend a lot of the time. Within this Welcome folder, the first thing students will see is a Zoom class link. They will need this link for various classes where we ask students to Zoom in with the other cohort if they are not in person. Other things in this folder include Practica, which is practice, Programas, which are our calendars, organizing your portfolio, so tips and tricks about organization, and typing in Spanish, which is something students will eventually need to do by changing their keyboards on their Chromebooks and other devices. There's also our course overview, which has just everything about Spanish 1 in it, a teacher introduction video, and then the Hastings High School daily announcements and lunch order form, which students need to use to order their lunch every week. So if we go into the Practica folder, this is what it might look like. So you have a variety of tools. Most of these are Quizlet and StudyMate. These are two different websites that students get to use for free that help them practice vocabulary, which is a huge part of success in Spanish 1. I really encourage students to spend like 10 minutes a day on either a Quizlet or a StudyMate. So oftentimes in a Schoology assignment, they'll see practice the 1A vocab for 10 minutes using StudyMate. And sometimes I'll link that to the assignment. But if students are struggling, especially if they're struggling with like the 1A vocab or days of the week in Spanish, or maybe they just have a little extra time and want to practice numbers, this is where they can find those links. Programas are calendars. So you'll see in here we have a link to the programas for the first quarter, and then you'll see as we go more programas populate here. If students click on this or if parents click on this, this is where you will go to a Google folder with all of the actual weekly calendars. And then this is just our overarching term dates for the year. In organizing your portfolio, students have a lot of resources to help them not only set up their portfolio, but maintain it. And that's another huge part of being successful in Spanish this year. So there's a video for how to set it up initially, which most students have already done in class, but some of them didn't have the materials they needed, so they need to go back and do this. There's also a video for how to organize their gold package, which are the vocab and activity packets they have so far this year. And then this document is just an overview of what are the portfolio sections and how do students use them. The other folder I wanted to talk about is typing in Spanish. So we have a PDF that explains many different ways to type accents and punctuation in Spanish. Again, these are things students will need to do in their Spanish class this year. There's also a video specific to the Chromebooks that students use and how to change their Chromebook keyboard language. And that's going to be something they need to know for class later this year. So that is our welcome folder, probably the most helpful folder for parents in our Schoology course. Thank you for watching.